Welcome back, learners, to the second part on the causes of the Great Depression. We're now going to look at the first of the activities, the first part of activity 1 on the causes of the Great Depression. I would like you to refer to your sources on page 4 of your resource pack, and we are going to look closely at the meaning of the sources, and I'm going to explain to you how to approach the questions. Now, before we do this, just a recap on how you are expected to answer. Remember, this is preparation for grade 12 examinations. Step 1, you will refer to the key question in the source. In this case, the key question is, what were the causes of the Great Depression? That means all the sources in this question will refer to the reasons why the Great Depression took place. For today, we are only looking at source 1A, and you're going to answer questions 1.1 to 1.5. Step 2, always check if there is signposting for the source. So if you look at the source 1A, you will notice the signposting is at the bottom of the source. The signposting refers to the additional information given to you, explaining to you where the source is taken from and what the source is referring to. In this case, the source is taken from a book called The Great War to the Great Depression, from the A to Z from the Great War to the Great Depression by an author called Neil Finn. Step 3, we're going to be reading the questions shortly. Always remember to bear in mind the mark scheme for the questions, and that you need to write clearly so that your examiner or marker can read your answers thoroughly. Let's look at the first part, source 1A. This source explains the reasons and the impact of the Fordney-Macumber Act. Two keywords here, reasons. Reasons will tell you why, and impact will tell you the effect, the consequence, or the result. So this law was passed called the Fordney-Macumber Act in the United States in the 1920s, and this is what the act entailed. The Fordney-Macumber Act raised tariffs. Tariffs are fees, or it can be referred to as duties or taxes. The Fordney-Macumber Act raised tariffs to levels higher than any previously in American history in an attempt to bolster the post-war economy. Bolster means to improve or to grow the American economy after the First World War. It also aimed to protect new war industries and to assist farmers. There were duties on Chinaware. Now, Chinaware refers to crockery or dishes as you'd commonly know it. Pig iron, that refers to iron that has not as yet been processed. Textiles, that's related to your fabric industry. Sugar and rails were restored to the high levels of 1907, and increases ranging from 60 to 400% were established on dyes, chemicals, silk and rayon textiles, and hardware. Tariffs on a variety of agricultural produce was raised. Although the tariffs encouraged the growth of monopoly in the United States, they also made it difficult for European powers to earn sufficient dollars to repay war debts. Just to explain this to you, what it meant was the Americans raised the amount that overseas nations had to pay if they wanted to buy American goods. Now, this made it difficult for the European powers because they now had to pay high duties or taxes if they wanted to import American goods. But at the same time, they could not pay their war debt, the amount that they were owing for the money that they had borrowed during the First World War. Other nations responded by increasing their tariffs. So in response to what the United States did, other countries also said, if the Americans are going to charge us high taxes for exporting to them, we will also charge high taxes if the Americans want to export to us. In this way, they limited United States exports and constricted the market. Constrict means they limited the market. So as an example, if South Africa increased its tariffs on exports, what it would mean is that if America wanted to sell its goods to us, they would have to pay a high price for exporting to us. In this way, the market is constricted and we will have fewer American goods coming into the country. These factors helped to create the weaknesses that produced the Depression. So you look at this Fortney-Macumber Act as a negative for the United States economy, because overseas nations were now saying, if the Americans are not going to buy from us, or they're going to buy less from us, we in turn are going to buy less from them. So think of this impact, what it would have on the American economy. While they were producing more goods, it didn't necessarily mean that they were going to sell more goods.